Hey, welcome back to the Nets, your one-stop channel for unbiased views, games, analysis, and transfers. Three games that happened over the weekend. Oh, and before I go there, I would just remind you guys, please do hit the like button, please do hit the subscribe button. Okay, so heading back to the three games that we had. The first one was probably the most interesting one, Kings 11 and Rajasthan Royals. This was pretty much one of those teams where, Rajasthan Royals have suddenly found a rich vein of form when might be a touch too late, but they have nonetheless found out the best combination and what works for them. And Rajasthan Royals playing Kings 11. Kings 11 posted an imposing total. 185 is by no means a small total. It could have been a little bit more had it not been Archer. Now, KL Rahul was again, he did get 46 odd, but I think that was run a ball and it wasn't really the free flowing KL Rahul that we had seen with Mayank Agarwal. But Chris Gale stepped in, 99 runs off 60 odd balls with a strike rate of close to around 160, 170 odd. Managed to miss the century narrowly, but Pooran played a cameo as well in the end. The highlight of this was uh, the pace attack that Rajasthan has. Now, two things that make you think is either is Jofra Archer really bowling that well, or are teams being cautious against Rajasthan Royals, knowing that there are these other bowlers that don't really have that much of a venom. So, for instance, you have Varun Aaron and you have Karthik Tyagi, who have been leaking runs like insane in the past few games. Even in this game, 4 overs cost them 47 each, which means that Jofra Archer and we saw Ben Stokes, the bowler, for the first time, who happened to knock out 2 wickets for 32 runs. So, which also tells me that people are maybe being a little bit extra cautious against Jofra Archer and taking nothing away from him. He's a brilliant act, but I think that they are paying him a lot more respect because they know that what else is out there and they can probably bank up on those bowlers leaking runs. Yet again, I did not really see Smith taking an initiative to go and talk to the bowlers, but that has been the pattern of this IPL so far. And then in the second innings, we again saw Ben Stokes, the batsman. And this is what we had always been saying, that Ben Stokes adds two players to this Rajasthan 11. But we saw Ben Stokes, the batsman, and it at one point of time was uh, under the impression that we might see this game being done within 15 overs the way Ben Stokes was going. But he lost his wicket and then Sanju Samson carried on, which is again kudos. He has been getting a tons of criticism in the early half of the IPL, but he has been doing really well in the last two games. Jofra Archer, Ben Stokes seems to have taken that edge off him. He is using a little bit of a time to settle himself in and then go after the bowling, which shows that he has all the talent in his arsenal. It's just the state of mind that he starts with. So that was about the first game. The next two games have been relatively one sided, but what they have done is, because they have been so one sided, what they have done is they have opened the second half of the table, and this has taken the tournament really deep. Now, when I say that, all the teams have one game left, which means that CSK plays Kings 11, and that game, if CSK wins, then the next game, that which is KKR versus RR, is pretty much a quarterfinal. That is a quarterfinal showdown, and one of those two will make it through to the playoffs, which again throws another curveball in that now, if by any means Mumbai loses to SRH, then SRH, because of the superior run rate, can sneak into that third position, which leaves DC as well as RCB out. So, because of the game way these games have happened, the last 2 days, the tournament has been wide open. I think Mumbai is the only team that is sitting there confidently. RCB is still at 14 points. DC is pretty much losing the plot here. They are still at 14. I personally do not see DC qualifying, considering their last game is against Kohli. And I think that would be the game where Virat Kohli takes everything on himself and starts he shows up, the real Virat Kohli shows up. So I think Rajasthan might be able to get that second position, but I think the third and fourth is still out there for grabs. Kings 11 can beat CSK tomorrow and pretty much secure that third place. But then again, CSK has somehow managed to be the spoilers for this tournament. They have in the first half not been. I mean, they didn't really show up the way we expected CSK to show up. But now in the second half, they're making their life difficult for the all the other teams. So I wouldn't be surprised if CSK manages to spring a surprise on Kings 11 and end all their hopes. If CSK wins, Kings 11 are pretty much out, because that means that KKR and RR, uh, they do have a shot. They both of them, both of them. Even if one of them loses, the margin with which they lose will be a big factor. So um, I guess it's just interesting last 2 days, 3 days of IPL, and we might see who plays Mumbai. Mumbai is pretty much, I think, guaranteed the first place now. So who plays Mumbai in the uh, not the final, but who plays Mumbai, as is it RCB or will it be DC, or will it be and who will be playing the first knockouts? So I guess that's all that I have. Was quick mention of Pollard's captaincy. It has been phenomenal. Pollard has been amazing for Mumbai, and I talk about Mumbai, and yes, Pollard does have the, uh, he has Bolt and Bumrah in his arsenal, but nonetheless, he has been going for wickets. He is not scared to use Bumrah's 3 overs in the first 15, which tells me that he does realize the importance of wickets. And Trent Bolt is a different bowler altogether in the first half. He is probably, the way that the ball he brings the ball in has been just exceptional. It's been mind blowing. So I hope Mumbai hasn't peaked early. They still have a few games to go, and I hope they win again. But then again, let's see what happens. It's the greatest tournament for a reason. So, all right, that's all that I have. Again, I do request, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you like this, please do give it a shout out. If you don't like this, leave me a feedback. I will be more than glad to improve my content. And until next time, stay healthy. Talk to you guys soon.